person I can be most of the time, and I try to follow his call. I'm not sure yet exactly what God is calling me to be, but I do know that he has blessed me with certain attributes that will help me to answer God's call in the future. I was blessed in the sense that school comes fairly easily to me, and thankfully I do not take this gift for granted. I don't run off and play or blow off schoolwork. I make sure to spend a good amount of time on homework and studying so I don't waste this gift. I was also blessed with a mom who is hardworking and selfless towards her children. I answer the call of God and do not take advantage of this situation. I try to help out as much as I can, and I always feel guilty if I do something wrong. I was also born with a strong desire for independence, as well as the ability to be independent. I don't need to lean on others, and I don't want to. I think being independent helps me learn more about myself and more about how to answer God's call to be the best person I can be. I think that many of these qualities that God has blessed me with will assist me in answering God's fully.
Reading Jeremiah and receiving an invitation from Pope Benedict XVI to discover what God is saying to each one of us, personally, here and now. I feel good about myself and a little less scared. It makes me feel good because the boy was so young and he was scared of having this big responsibility. But God reassured him that he was with him to guide him. And that makes me feel better because I know that God is always with me. Maybe not physically, but spiritually. It makes me feel safe and less scared of being alone or making a mistake.
I feel like God calls me to be the best person I can be, and I am very appreciative of that. An example is when I went to clean up the beaches. God called me to help his planet and the creatures living on it. I wanted to give back to the community because I am blessed with a loving family, friends, and a great school. God gave me many characteristics that define the person I am, like playing volleyball and being an independent woman. Through all my experiences, I try to answer God's call and become a holistic woman.
I am called to holiness by helping other people and caring for others. I can help someone with something little, whether it be by picking up a little piece of paper for them or just giving them advice and being there for them when they need a shoulder to cry on. I feel like God calls me to be a helper and be there for someone who is in need or danger. I feel like God is calling me to also not just focus on myself and put others first. It might be difficult for me sometimes to be there for others because I'm not so sure how to handle the situation, but I know that God will be there for me and lead me to do good because that is what God calls me to do.
When God says, "Do not be afraid, for I am with you," I feel secure and safe. I feel that I can carry on with my life and my activities without fear because I know that God is with me. For example, I remember a time when I was too young and too afraid to do something that God had planned for me and my family. When I was young, my family had to move out of our house, and it was a very hard time for my siblings and I to leave the house that we all knew and loved. I remember questioning God and asking him why we had to move out of our house. I questioned why and why me, but I came to the conclusion that it was the best thing for my family. I realized that I would be able to survive and that I just had to adapt to my surroundings. With the help of God through prayer, I was and am able to go along with my life and feel safe because God is with me.
Thanks for watching our video on how we answer God's call.
How do you answer God's call?